Hi, Ron is Hidech. So I'm going to be starting a new Shogi video series, strategy explanation. So in this new series, I'm going to be talking about bishop exchanged reclining silver strategies. And I'll be following a book by Akira Shima, professional player, which is called The Research on Bishop Exchange Reclining Silver. And I'm especially looking at the identical position where both sides use the reclining silver. Yeah, and I'll be doing it with this 81 Dojo interface from now on, because we got new features to loading new kifu, new position, and explaining the moves. You can move the pieces as you want. We can draw arrows. So as an advertisement of this, so I'm going to be using 81 Dojo. So what we're going to be looking at is we're going to see the history of bishop exchanged reclining silver, and I'm going to be looking at a game between Moriuchi and Nakata in 1990. So I'm going to load a kifu. So let's take a look at the theme position. It's actually here. So the identical position. And normally black would attack this, and usually the edge pawn is already pushed. So he pushes, and then pushes this. So 4, 2, 1, 7, 3 is the latest theory. But so we're going to take a look at old history. So it doesn't go like that. But let's see it. So this is kind of called Masuda Joseki, which was established pretty in the old time, like 1940s. Yeah, and it had not been played so often, but then in 1990, Gote started to try some new idea and go into this old strategy. So let's take a look at it. So in this game, Moriuchi versus Nakata, black played pawn 4-5, pawn takes, and he sacked 7th file, and then 2nd also, and then the 3rd. Well, in the posting discussion, Moriuchi said that the pawn push on the 2nd was not a very good idea, but let's take a look at that. So in this game, Gote took the pawn. This is a very important point. When he takes it, this is what happens. Knight takes, and the fact that he took the pawn on 3-5 means that he will take this knight now, because if he runs in any way, then a pawn drop will come on 7-4. That means he cannot save this silver, right? So that's why he takes now, and silver takes back. And the meaning of this is, of course, you see this: the bishop dropping 3-7, the rook runs, and the bishop promotes. Now I'd like to remind you that if you do not push the pawn on the 3rd file, this one, and simply go ahead like this, it's not a very good idea. Well, we're going to take a look at the real actual game from this variation as well later. But what happens is, when the same thing happens, you cannot attack on the 3-4 square anymore. So this is a kind of problem, right? So we'll take a look at that later. But anyway, in this game, he made a pawn sack on 3rd file, and bishop drop, and bishop promotes to 4-6. Okay, then Moriuchi played silver drop to 5-6. Well, actually, it is said this bishop drop could have been better. Well, Gote's next move is actually knight drop on 7-4. This is a really good move, like filling in the space where black wants to draw a pawn, and this is already kind of a good threat against black's camp. And it will go like that, Maybe black can attack like this. This could have been better for black, actually. But what he did is, instead of this silver drop here, he dropped it on 5-6. Yeah, and okay, by the way, there's also a move silver to 5-6, moving it. Well, this also threatens to take the bishop horse on the next move. This is not a very good idea. We will take a look at a game where this is played, actually. So anyway, he dropped the bishop, silver, pawn drop. Now, if it would be good if he can drop a pawn now. Well, but unfortunately this doesn't work pretty good. Bishop drop. Now the problem is the horse attack like this. Like this. And if the king goes up, in this position, actually the pawn push on the second file, pawn sack 2-4, pawn takes, this is like working in a bad way, because otherwise if the pawn is still on 2-3 and 2-5, well, the silver drop would kill the horse, right? So this means it is not a good idea to go for this variation when black made a pawn push on the second file already. So Moriuchi didn't go for this line, and he dropped a pawn there anyway. But then the idea by white is sacking the knight here and then taking the silver. Black removes, but rook runs, bishop drop, the gold runs. Yeah. Now black went to take this horse now. Well, actually talking to 6-3 could have been better a little bit. But anyway, he dropped play like that, but then, yeah, he ignored it and simply dropped the silver. Okay. Then white takes the rook finally, and before he drops the rook, a very good pawn sack, rook drop. Well, if the king runs, pawn drop, right? So, well, he played like this. But then pawn drop, and knight drop. And this is better for white, alright? Okay, now, as I've said, we're going to look at other games. Oh, so this is actually Masuda versus Tsukada in 1948. It is a very old game. But this is where I want to show you what happens here. What happens if black doesn't make the pawn sack on the third file. So he makes the pawn sack on the 7th and already takes it with the knight. Bishop drop, promotes. So now that the problem for black is he doesn't have the attack on 3-4 anymore. So he has to defend. But then, yeah, simply this knight drop is too powerful. Well, let's see some continuation. Bishop drop, horse takes, something like that. So this pawn push is kind of very strong, right? Yeah, something like that. Right, now we take a look at another one as well. So this is 1991, October, Satou versus Morishita. So in this one, we're going to look at this identical position where the pawn push is already made on the edges anyway. So pawn sack, 7th, 3rd, and knight. So of course the silver takes in bishop drop, and rook runs, bishop removes, and this is where what I've said is being seen. Silver moves back to 5-6. So this is actually not a very good idea, because there's this move, horse to 3-6, attacking the gold, right? And after the gold runs, horse to 6-3. This is really a good position for the horse, defending this square already. So yeah, of course black can try to attack, but it is considered that this position is not so much good for black anyway, right? So now we're going to take another one. Finally, this is May 1991. Nakagawa versus Morishita. So what we're going to see here, is the same position, third. Here, the rook runs to 1-8 instead of 2-9. So this makes a difference. So let's take a look at this. So bishop promotes. No, he can't promote the bishop. Well, that's the point here. Actually, if he promotes the bishop, so this is why the rook run to 1-8. Okay, Sierra can go back, still threatening this. And this attack does not threat the gold because the rook is defending. So black can drop a pawn already, right? Well, he could of course take the rook now, but it's not a really big problem like that. So that's the point of rook moving on to 1-8 like this. So that's why he had to play pawn drop now. Yeah, of course he attacks now because he doesn't have time to go back because white can drop a knight on 7-4. So it proceeds like this, gold checks. And actually, well, black played bishop 6-1, but well, it is said this is not a good move. He could have played here. Well, actually, then defending like this will be met by this kind of tricky move, and it's still better for black. So this bishop drop could have been a very decisive one, but well, he played like this. Gold goes back. Black had to move, use the silver now, and the rook runs in. Now this is really already a very difficult position. So yeah, so that's all for this video. We're going to be taking a look at other variations further from the next videos. So please look forward to it. Looking forward to seeing you in the next video. See you. Goodbye.